So to your question, some of the differences, and when people say, well, you know, what about a college education as compared to a university education, and isn't a university education better than a college education? I mean, they're both very different. They're meant to do different things. When I look at it, for me, the difference generally is that if there's 5 levels of theory within a particular subject, the universities will teach all 5. From our perspective, we'll probably teach 3, maybe 3.5, and then the time that you would spend doing the other 2 or 1.5, we spend doing.
Practical.
So exactly, what's the practical, what's the application? A lot of case studies. We're moving into more field-based work within the class. One of my colleagues has a marketing strategies course in the marketing program, and it's a 6 semester, it's supposed to be a theory course, but there is theory that goes on, but it's an application to a project. And he will have a client come in and the whole class works on that client. So whereas I may work with 5 different clients, Tom will work with 1, and the entire class will break into groups and work on that one. So he has the ability to, you know, get the theory in there, have the students work, and then they compete. A new area in project management that does the same thing. We have a research commercialization and innovation office here at school, very heavy on the research, and it's a couple of years old. And our project management stream within the management program works managing the projects that come into the research area. So as we're looking at, you know, how to get this company off the ground, what is the process they have to go through to develop their technology, our students work on the project plan. So they do that as part of the class, but then some of them get hired over the summer to do this work. So we, you know, we really try to put emphasis on the real application as the students get into their senior semesters. And we also do consulting outside of class, outside of everything. It's an extracurricular activity, but they get paid to consult. It's as close as you're going to get to real experience while you're in school. So when you take a look at the costs, I'm covered by the school because I'm faculty. The space we already have, so you know that's covered as part of the school. When we hire co-op students such as Jen, that's through the school. But when the students are employed, then you know the companies do pay for that. So there is so much of we charge $20 an hour, which is not expensive at all. The students get $13.20 of that, and then the institute keeps the balance. And that doesn't go towards overhead. It really goes to creating a pool of funds so that we can employ students to do more work. Because we do a lot of seminars with organizations. We work with the Toronto Enterprise Fund, and the Toronto Enterprise Fund provides funding to not-for-profit organizations that want to start a social purpose enterprise. And a social purpose enterprise is defined as a business that employs those who are marginally employable or the marginalized of society. So whether it's through mental health, you know, homelessness, addiction, you know, the fact that you are, you know, a new immigrant, not that in itself is a qualifier, but you know, you have new immigrants that come in. Language is an issue. They're trying to get established. Not an awful lot of money. They could be refugees. We engage the persons. We also engage the organizations that work with them. So we help them with feasibility studies, business plans, because a lot of what we do is all based around the business plan. So I mean, this is part of what we do is just try to make business sexy, to show that you know business does do well. Not only does it generate profit, but profit can be generated in lots of different ways, and it can be used to build communities. It's just not to the shareholders. It's actually useful for developing strong, healthy, resilient communities. For class, I refer to the class as FBC Inc., which is like a holding company for the multiple consulting companies that the students form. And they are consultants for the semester they are with me. They have to give their company a name, they have to produce business cards, letterhead, and they present themselves to the client as a business. And the clients are involved in the marking of the students. 85% of the students' mark comes from the work that they do. So 60% is based on the plan that they create. 25% is the client's feedback. And then 15% is a journal. And it's not, it's not Dear Diary, but it's really meant to be very short and succinct about experiences. So 5 experiences. And we know employers love to ask the question, so tell me about something bad that happened to you and how you reacted to it. Tell me about something good. So they track those experiences, and then there's 5 skill-based things that happen. So when an employer says, so, what can you do? And maybe somebody project managed one part of the client work. It could be, because we brought the project in on time, I've got great attention to detail. I can work within a team and lead and motivate and get people to complete tasks on time, which are really important skills today because everything's based on teamwork, a lot of project-based work. So what are those? Exactly. So what are those skills? So I try to get the students to look at what they do with me in the course and be able to relate that to an employer. So it's a resume course. There's an hour interview that they go through, and I get to know them sort of, what they like, what they don't like, what they think their strengths and weaknesses are, the kinds of things they're interested in, and what they would like to get out of the course. Like, why do they want to take it? Yeah. They do, and usually the ones that have the great grades are the ones that can read the textbook and give you the textbook back in the exam. So, you read it and go, oh, aren't you smart? Yeah. Well, not really. They just memorize really well. So and for me, that's always a distinction. Yes. And I take a look at the SIFE team, and and there can be a lot of reasons why you have a low GPA, like a low grade or a low average. I had 2 jobs when I went to school, so I could afford to go to school. Yeah. So my average, you would look at it and go, and this, it's the marks are not an indicator of how well a student can do. Or how functional they will be out in the business world. One of the things I do when they come into the course, so there's the interview of let me get to know you, see who you are, what makes you tick, but there's also a case study they have to do. And it's not one where, take it away and write it out and give it to me. No. It's really, you have 15 minutes to read it, and then we're going to discuss it. Yeah. Because I want to see how you think. Yeah. And we have people that come from, from the suburbs as well. So anybody within sort of the greater Toronto area, if they want to take advantage of what we have, they can.
For free?
There's a small fee, but not much. If you're a young entrepreneur and you're coming in for business planning help and assistance, it's $100. I'm very fortunate that my dean and my director really saw the benefit of what this could do. Okay. And again, it was driven by the SIFE team. We saw the success, what they were doing, and it was like, okay, here it is. And that's how it developed from our perspective.